She didn't know he was married. She didn't ask. She just poured his coffee. Every morning. Smiling. Trusting. But someone else knew. And she didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just walked in one day. With a smile of her own. And a cappuccino. That tasted like revenge. Naomi from Brooklyn, the coffee wasn't just bitter. Series, 10 True Affair Stories from New York. The coffee shop on Greenpoint Avenue came alive just before 6:30 a.m. Naomi was always there 15 minutes earlier, apron tied, hair pinned, hands already warm from prepping the espresso machine. It was the part of the day she liked best. The quiet hum of lights flickering on, the scent of beans in the grinder, the first hiss of steam. She liked mornings because they didn't ask much of her. Just focus. Warmth. Efficiency. And a little kindness. Naomi gave all of that, easily. The regulars came like clockwork. Mrs. Ellington with her almond latte and crossword. James, the freelance writer, who barely spoke before 9 a.m. And Marcus. He had started coming 6 months ago. Always in a navy coat, clean-shaven, and carrying a tired kind of charisma. The kind that wasn't loud but pulled you in. His order was consistent: cappuccino, extra foam, no sugar. And after a while, he added small talk. A compliment on her earrings. A remark about the playlist. Then one day, he stayed longer. She learned his name. That he worked in Midtown. That he was in the middle of some life stuff, which he said with a half-laugh, the kind that hinted at divorce without saying it. Naomi didn't push. He seemed sad in a way she understood, not dramatic, just worn. Familiar. Like someone who needed a place to exhale. She became that place. By the 3rd month, he waited until her break and invited her to sit. Just for 10 minutes. Just coffee. Then it became 20. Then they started texting. Then dinner. Then her fingers brushing his jacket when no one was looking. He never said the word marriage. And she never asked. Naomi wasn't naive. But she wanted to believe what he gave her. She wanted it to be real. Until Tuesday. It started like any other morning. Light snowfall outside. A line of customers snaking near the door. Naomi moved quickly, efficiently, her hands steady even under the pressure of the rush. She was wiping down the counter when a mobile order came in. She checked the name field. It was blank. Not uncommon, some customers didn't bother to type one in. But the note section wasn't blank. One line. Written carefully. I know who you are. She froze. Her fingers tightened slightly around the phone. It wasn't signed. No emoji. No follow-up. Just that sentence. Sitting there in a font too clean to match the weight of the words. Naomi blinked. Looked up. Scanned the shop. No one unusual. Just the regulars. A tourist couple by the window. A young woman with headphones waiting by the pastry case. She called the name for the next drink and started making the cappuccino. Extra foam. No sugar. Her heart beat faster, but her hands didn't tremble. Years of service had taught her how to perform calmness. She placed the lid on gently and set it at the pickup counter. No one approached. The cup sat there for nearly 5 minutes before a delivery runner picked it up. Naomi didn't recognize him. He left without saying a word. She tried to brush it off. A prank. A jealous ex. A mistake. But the pit in her stomach grew heavier. During her break, she stepped into the back room, pulled out her phone, and opened Marcus's last message. It was from the night before. Tomorrow morning? Same time. Same place. I need to see your face. She didn't reply. Instead, she sat on a crate of milk cartons and stared at the wall. She thought about the way Marcus always turned his phone face down when they were together. How he never invited her to his place. How he never called after 10 p.m. She had accepted these things. She had rationalized them. Now, 1 sentence 6 words was unraveling everything. When she returned to the counter, Marcus was there. He smiled at her the same way. Tilted his head. Took his usual seat. But Naomi didn't sit with him that day. She handed him his cappuccino. Their fingers brushed. He looked up, a flicker of confusion passing through his eyes. You okay? She nodded. Busy morning. He sipped. Didn't press. She watched him walk out 10 minutes later, coat pulled tight, steam rising from the lid of his cup. And for the first time in weeks, she wondered. What else does she know? And what will she do with it? It was just afternoon when the woman entered the coffee shop. The midday lull had begun, enough of a break after the morning rush for Naomi to breathe, but not long enough to truly rest. She was wiping down the pastry case when she saw her. The woman didn't look out of place. In fact, she blended in so well it made Naomi uneasy. Tan coat, dark jeans, low ponytail. No makeup, but she didn't need any. Her features were sharp, sculpted. She had the look of someone who had walked through many rooms and been noticed in every single one. She walked directly to the counter. Naomi offered a polite smile. Hi, what can I get for you? The woman didn't return the smile. Cappuccino, she said. Extra foam. No sugar. Naomi hesitated, but only for a beat. She punched the order in and turned toward the espresso machine. She could feel the woman watching her. Not glancing, watching. Like she was cataloging every movement. Naomi kept her hands steady, measured out the espresso, frothed the milk, poured with the same care she always did. But something about the air shifted. The warmth in the shop dulled. The light felt harsher. She placed the drink on the counter. Here you go. The woman reached for it, but didn't take it right away. She looked down at the cup, then back up at Naomi. He used to love it with extra foam, she said calmly. Not too hot. Just like how he wanted you, I suppose. Naomi's breath caught. Her fingers curled slightly on the edge of the counter. The woman picked up the cup and took a long, slow sip. She didn't break eye contact. It's good, she said. You're good. I'll give you that. Then she turned, walked 3 steps, and paused by the napkin station. She pulled something from her coat pocket. Folded. Crisp. A receipt. She slid it onto the counter near the tip jar, then walked out without another word. Naomi didn't move until the door shut behind her. Then she picked up the paper. On the back, in the same neat handwriting as the mobile order, it said, "The wife always knows." Her chest felt hollow. Not broken, erased. She stood there, the cup still steaming faintly, and felt a wave of nausea climb from her gut to her throat. She didn't need to ask how the woman found her. Didn't need to ask why she came. She just stood there, holding a receipt that didn't scream. It didn't threaten. It simply stated a fact. A fact that pulled Naomi out of whatever illusion she had been living in. The shame came fast. Red and hot. Burning behind her eyes. It wasn't because she had done something wrong, exactly, she hadn't known. But the guilt wasn't logical. It was visceral. As if her hands were dirty from holding something that was never hers. She walked to the back, locked the door behind her, and sat on the bench with the receipt still in her hand. She read the words again. And again. She thought of Marcus. Of the way he laughed, soft and low. The way he texted late at night but never picked up a call past 10. The way he told her she was a secret he wanted to protect, not hide. She had believed him. Now, she wasn't sure if she believed anything at all. The espresso machine hissed behind the wall. A new order pinged on the register. The world outside didn't stop. But inside her, something had. And she wasn't sure it would start again the same way. Naomi didn't tell Marcus. She didn't answer his texts. She didn't block his number either. She just let the messages pile up, quiet as dust. But the silence changed things. At work, people noticed. Her smile faded a little faster. Her movements lost their rhythm. And there was something else, something in the way her co-workers looked at her, like they knew something she didn't. Like she had become part of a story told in whispers. By Thursday, the tension had built into a pressure she could feel in her spine. She arrived early that morning, before opening. The air was sharp with the smell of bleach and fresh grounds. The lights above the espresso bar buzzed faintly. Someone had already been there, milk cartons stacked, machines primed, and a drink left just for her on the back counter. A cappuccino. Extra foam. No sugar. No name on the cup. But it was warm. Fresh. Meant for her. She stared at it. Her name wasn't on the order list. She hadn't asked for it. But this place ran on routine, and someone, maybe out of habit, maybe out of kindness, had made it for her. Naomi hesitated. She'd been on edge since the woman's visit, her nerves fraying quietly at the seams. She reached out. Picked it up. Took a sip. The taste was wrong. Not burnt. Not spoiled. Just wrong. Bitter in a way she couldn't explain. Metallic. Her chest tightened. Her hand trembled slightly as she set the cup down. Her heart was beating too fast. She looked around. The shop was still empty. Her co-worker hadn't arrived yet. No one was there. Suddenly, the light seemed too bright. She moved toward the bathroom, gripping the counter for balance. Her vision blurred at the edges. Her throat felt dry. Her skin went cold. She stumbled into the restroom, locked the door, and leaned over the sink. Her reflection stared back, pale, drawn, eyes wide. Her lips were losing color. A wave of dizziness crashed through her. She fumbled for her phone, nearly dropping it. Her fingers couldn't move fast enough, but she found the emergency dial. 911, she whispered, her voice barely audible. The dispatcher answered. "Help," Naomi gasped. "Something's wrong. I think I'm dash." She didn't finish the sentence. The phone slipped from her hand. The last thing she saw before the blackness crept in was the edge of the mirror and the faint smear of lipstick on the coffee cup she'd left behind. The hospital ceiling was white. Too white. The kind of white that made you forget time, forget sound. Naomi blinked slowly, the light above her like a dull star pressed into her vision. She didn't remember arriving. Just fragments: the mirror, her hand slipping, the voice on the phone growing faint. Then black. Now this. Her chest rose and fell under the stiff blanket. N4 was taped to her arm. Her mouth tasted like metal and cotton. She turned her head. No flowers. No cards. No Marcus. Only the sterile beep of a machine monitoring her pulse. A nurse entered quietly. Smiled, the kind of smile meant for recovery rooms and slow news. "You're lucky," she said, adjusting Naomi's drip. "Whatever it was, you called just in time." Naomi tried to ask, but her throat cracked instead. The nurse offered water. "Don't push yourself. The police are waiting. They won't keep you long." Naomi nodded, her mind still fogged. An officer arrived an hour later. Plainclothes. Clipboard. Calm voice. "We didn't find anything conclusive," he said. "Toxicology's clean. But there was a packet of sugar left open on the back counter. Traces of something unknown, possibly plant-based. Nothing lethal. But enough to trigger a reaction." Naomi stared at him. "Who?" He shook his head. "No fingerprints. No footage. No one saw anything. It could have been a prank. Could have been personal. Could have been nothing. Could have been anything." She was discharged 2 days later. No one came to pick her up. Back in her apartment, the air felt wrong. Like it had been holding its breath while she was gone. She sat on the edge of her bed, bag still by the door, and tried to breathe in something that didn't feel like fear. Then the knock came. She opened the door to find a plain box. No return label. No courier. Just her name, typed neatly on top. She brought it inside slowly. Set it on the kitchen table. Opened it with shaking hands. Inside, a single folded piece of paper. No threats. No signature. Just handwriting. "You'll live. I just wanted you to taste what it feels like." Naomi stared at the note. Read it once. Then again. Then pressed it flat against the table as if it might reveal something more. It didn't. She didn't scream. Didn't cry. Just stood there in the quiet of her kitchen with her pulse thudding in her ears. The next day, she quit her job. She changed her number. Deleted her social media. Found a short-term lease in another part of the city and moved out within the week. She left no forwarding address. No explanations. She didn't say goodbye to anyone. She didn't want to explain why she flinched at the smell of coffee, why she avoided mirrors, why she stopped drinking anything she hadn't poured herself. The world didn't need to know. It already had. At night, she dreamed of steam rising from a cappuccino. Of a lipstick smear on porcelain. Of eyes that smiled without warmth. And every morning she woke with the same thought. She hadn't died. But something inside her had. She didn't scream. She didn't fight. She just left a cup behind. With a message no antidote could erase. But in our next story, a man from the Upper West Side did everything right. Anniversary trips. Baby plans. He even forgave a late-night text from a co-worker named Jordan. Until one night, he picked up her phone and realized Jordan was short for Jordanella. Stay with us for the next chapter in 10 True Affair Stories from New York. Because sometimes the betrayal isn't in what you find. It's in who you thought you knew.